Hi, my name is Zoe, and if you're here for drama, tea, conspiracies, or just to spend a little bit of time with me, I really, really appreciate it. Forgive me, I have sinned. I have not posted in a very long time. You can probably tell by my voice, it sounds weird in my head at least, that I am sick. I'm starting to think hopefully it's allergies. I don't know, because it hasn't gone away. And I have 6 kids, so scheduling doctors and all that is hard. I already have a dentist appointment. It's hard enough to do more than one thing at one time. For myself, that is. But anyway, I've really been itching to get into my conspiracy theory videos. And I thought a good way to kind of ease some of my viewers into conspiracy theories would be to tell you that some conspiracy theories that have actually turned out to be true. The ones I'm going to be focusing on today are our government doing bad, which I feel like a lot of the conspiracies are rooted against our government. So just remember to keep an open mind about things. Conspiracy theory number 1 is that the government was poisoning alcohol suppliers during the Prohibition. Manufacturers of industrial alcohol had always been mixing poisonous chemicals with their products. Prohibition was between 1920 and 1933, and there was actually a mandate by the government between 1926 and 1933 for industrial alcohol manufacturers to use stronger poisons in their alcohol to discourage bootleggers from stealing and turning the industrial alcohol into moonshine. Which the government knew that people were stealing this alcohol for personal consumption. That's why they were demanding that the stronger poisons be used, which horrible, naughty government. And this didn't stop the bootleggers from using this industrial alcohol even after they caught on to the fact that it was being poisoned. And it led to the death of 10,000 Americans. 10,000 Americans just trying to have a good time. 1920s, it's hard. Not only did it kill Americans, but it also left a lot of people blind and their systems permanently damaged from this. I don't think the government ever apologized or anything for this one either. They were kind of just like, shouldn't have been doing it, which it's against the law. They shouldn't have been doing it, but people were doing it and they knew they were doing it. Yet they still decided to poison us. A little bit of a trigger warning for this next conspiracy theory because it has to do with bodies. It has to do with the bodies of deceased people, and some of those people are children, but I'm not really gonna get into anything graphic. There's one thing that's a little gross. But this conspiracy theory is that the government was stealing dead bodies to do radioactive testing. True. It was called Project Sunshine. So Project Sunshine began in 1953. It was a project to test radioactive fallout on the human population, and they were doing this through cadaver bodies and bodies donated to scientific research. But by 1955, they had run out of bodies, and they didn't think that they had enough research gathered on this topic to be beneficial. Commissioner Dr. Willard Libby took it upon himself to let the other scientists know that they needed bodies. Quote unquote, I don't know how to get them, but I do say it is a matter of prime importance to get them, and particularly the young age group. So human samples are often of prime importance, and if anybody knows how to do a good job of body snatching, they will be serving their country. Thanks, Dr. Willard Libby. This led to over 1,500 samples being illegally collected, all the way from Australia to England, and many of these samples were from young, passed away people and babies. So they took 1,500, but only 500 of these samples were actually ever analyzed. So that's 1,000 samples, limbs, bodies that just didn't need to be illegally taken without the consent of the family. Government. Good job on that one. Fast forward a little bit if you don't want to hear this next part. But according to the investigation launched after a British newspaper reported that a British scientist had obtained children's bodies from various hospitals and shipped their body parts to the United States, a British mother had said that her stillborn baby's legs were removed by British doctors. And to hide the fact that this had happened, she was not allowed to clothe her own baby for its funeral. Really horrible. Oh gosh. In June 1995, a presidential advisory committee on human radiation experiments set up by former President Clinton released classified documents from the Atomic Energy Commission, which was who was handling these studies, which showed that scientists working on the projects were aware of their dubious and unethical practices during the whole thing. Way to go, government. Way to ruin a bunch of people's lives who are already grieving. Good on you. Now, the last conspiracy theory that, I don't know, I'm giving these kind of rapid fire, but I'm sick. All right? I'm sick. And I'm giving you the meat of the stories. But this last one, in my opinion, is kind of the most messed up one. And I remember hearing about this when I was younger. And I didn't think it happened in America. I don't know if I just got it confused with the birth control studies that happened in a different country. But this last one is that the government was purposefully not treating patients with syphilis even after there was a cure, which was penicillin. True. Government, another one that's true. This is horrible. So this happened in Tuskegee, Alabama. It started in 1932. So the USPHS, working with the Tuskegee Institute, began to study and record the natural history of syphilis. All right, so I'm not going to tell you what it was originally called because I don't like that wording. But it was newly referred to as the USPHS Untreated Syphilis Study at Tuskegee. The study initially involved 600 black men, 399 with syphilis, 201 who did not have the disease. Participants' informed consent was not collected. Researchers told the men they were being treated for bad blood, a local term used to describe several ailments, including syphilis, anemia, fatigue. In exchange for participating in the study, the men received free medical exams, free meals, and free burial insurance in case of their passing. This one pisses me off so much. It shows how horrible America has been in the whole. They targeted this area because it was known to be undereducated and in poverty. So these men who are getting offered free medical care, free meals, and burial insurance for their families, of course they're going to hop on this study. So the study started in 1932. By 1943, penicillin was the common treatment for syphilis, and it was widely available. But they did not let any of the participants in the studies know about this, and they knew that a lot of these people were not going to have access to the information that there was a cure for a disease they weren't even really aware that they had. They were told they had bad blood. Now, a lot of these men ended up suffering horribly, very horribly. So if you leave syphilis untreated, which they purposefully did in these men, it can damage your heart, your brain, your eyes, and your organs. And it's basically going to slowly kill you. And that's what it did for these men. In 1972, an Associated Press story about the study was published. 1972. It started in 1932. Okay, so 40 years after this study started, the Assistant Secretary for Health and Scientific Affairs appointed an ad hoc advisory panel to review the study. The advisory panel concluded that the study was ethically unjustified. Duh. In October 1972, the panel advised stopping the study. A month later, the Assistant Secretary of Health and Scientific Affairs announced the end of the study. In March 1973, the panel also advised the Secretary of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare to instruct the USPHS, I'm dyslexic, that's hard for me, to provide all necessary medical care for the survivors of the study. The Tuskegee Health Benefit Program was established to provide these services. In 1975, participants' wives, widows, and children were added to the program. The last study participant died in January 2004, which is crazy. The last widow receiving benefits from this program passed away in January 2009. I'm very sorry. And there are 10 children still alive who are receiving benefits from this program. That is insane to me. Again, 3 strikes, government. 3 conspiracy theories that sound crazy. They all sound crazy when you hear them. Government poisoning purposefully their own people, body snatching babies' body parts to do experiments on, and then leaving their own citizens with serious medical conditions untreated just so they can see the effects of what the disease is going to have on their body. Keep open ears, open eyes. You know, it's crazier and crazier out there, and you hear all these crazy things. They're not all true, but maybe 1, 2, or 3 of them, like we saw today, will be true. I really hope you stayed to the end of the video. If you enjoyed this conspiracy video, please give me a like. It really, really helps out. I would love if you subscribe to my channel as well. I'm not on my A game today. I'm sick. But I really wanted to get on here and talk about this stuff. It's been itching me for a while, like I said. And I missed uploading. So I love the guys. I love you guys so much. Like, I really do. I don't have friends in real life. So you internet people make me happy. Since you make me happy, why don't you try to make somebody else happy, even if it's just a silly little smile from doing something with your goofy little self. Have a great day, guys. Or a great night whenever you're watching this. And like I said, please like and subscribe. Maybe even share my video to a friend or just show it to a friend. That can make them smile. Or it can make them really, really paranoid about the government and conspiracy theories. Have a good day, guys. Mwah.